Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome back to the Forts Pro League, where today we're going to be jumping into the semifinals. I hope you guys are excited because we've got some best of 5 matches coming up here in just a few minutes. I want to say hello to one and all. Welcome to everyone stopping by so early. We're going to go ahead and introduce some of our players here in the some of the other members here in the voice call. I want to say hello to Nosehead.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Incursus. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. We're also joined by 42 Scientist, who may or may not be trying to hide from their microphone, but we'll see how that goes.
No, I will definitely be there. Don't worry.
Shout out to Nose, one of the developers of the Forts game itself, joining us here in this wonderful activity as we are getting everything set up for the first round. The West Wind versus Wide. We were just talking about this.
Fortified.
Fortified. Thank you. I was like, it's on, the worst part is their name is on my screen. I've got it right there, and I'm just looking around frantically across all my monitors like, why don't I remember the name? Why don't I see it? It's right there.
It's pretty amazing that we started with 40 teams, and now there are 4. It's been quite a few. Let's just say there's a lot of carnage. There's a lot of broken forts sitting on the ground.
Carnage and broken forts. My 2 favorite words.
Maybe just a little bit of a hint of radiation.
Just a little bit.
A little bit,
just good old-fashioned explosions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting the players into the lobby as we get started here. I do want to give a shout out to Zeltsvelk, and I can never pronounce the name. Yes, that one. Broadcasting also on Twitch, where you guys can check out these very same matches live, broadcasted and shoutcasted in other languages, specifically German and French, respectively.
Yeah, it's interesting that Forts is so popular in Germany and in France, for that matter. Like when we were making the game, we thought it was going to be predominantly an English-focused game, but it's interesting how the appeal of the game reaches different countries, and it's really cool to see such a strong German contingent in the playoffs here. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't terribly surprised when the German community arrived, but they did arrive a little later than most.
Yes, this is true.
And if I recall correctly, a particularly large German streamer decided to play the game, and then they realized, oh, wait a minute, this game exists, and it's perfect for us. And
awesome.
they haven't left, and everyone's better off for it. I love it. We have a few notes that I want to mention because I know a lot of you guys in chat and in the comments section have been leaving advice, leaving recommendations, and generally feedback, and we have taken that into account. So do make sure that if you guys have something that you would like to see more of, or some changes you would like made, make sure to leave a comment below or spam chat. So to some moderately, don't get yourself timed out for spamming, but do let us know.
It would be inconvenient.
Yes, it would be inconvenient. Good lord. All right. Well, the players are here, so we'll be ready to go momentarily.
Looks like we're doing the map vote now.
Yes, we are. Getting all that set. You guys can see right now on screen the bans and the picks. The pick ban system is fairly standard. You guys have seen pick ban systems across other competitive series. First, the teams ban a map, one apiece, and then they alternate picking 4 maps. And they ban 2 more maps, and the last remaining map in the pool is left over. That is to say, that is the one that will be used in case of a tie. And say we go up to 2 to 2. That's too many twos. If both teams win 2 matches, the tie break will be played on that final match, that final map. And then we'll be moving on to the commander picks and bans here in a moment. And there it is. All right. We start off with 1 ban for each team, and then each team gets to pick 4. The picks are not exclusive, so if one team picks it, the other team can also pick their commanders. The only other notable rule here is that once a team has become victorious while using a commander, they cannot then use that commander for the rest of the series, or at least for the rest of the matchup. This means that, say, if both teams in round 1 pick pinch fist, one team wins, so one team will not be able to use pinch fists for the remainder of the battles. We'll get to see which commanders are picked for each team in each round as we get there. Not even we will know until we get into the match. We'll be starting the first match in about 3.5 minutes here. So make sure to grab your popcorn, make sure to grab your tea. I've got myself some nice mixed berry tea as we are getting ready to jump into the action here. Fortified versus Westwind. Now these are players that I know you guys love. Speaking of the German teams, Finn and Ambrulo versus Geiger and Malm. Some very loved and well-known players.
Yeah, we're getting to the very top end of the skill level here. It's good to see. It's impressive to see these guys play under pressure like this. I know I would be like, help.
Yeah, these guys they are not messing around.
They're experienced panic survivors. Especially playing RTS games. I mean, it's the APM. I remember a friend of mine, with the whole Forts Pro League being in the forefront of the minds of the community, a couple other friends of mine, content creators, were getting asked to jump back into Forts. And they're like, sure, I could play StarCraft, but the APM required for this is a lot, and I don't know what I'm doing. And so it's like they feel like they need to play at 300 APM just to keep up with things. And they just don't have that experience with the Fort's, I'm going to say, game engine and mechanics. So like, game too hard. It's too stressful. It's like, but you play StarCraft, it's too stressful.
APM in the world, but if you're not used to the mechanics, you can't really do much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even
Good
though some
lord.
players are able to just win through sheer APM sometimes.
Just looking at Eaton over there.
Yes, or even Tar on 1v2s.
Yes. That man does
Especially when
really
he's-
well when he gets cornered.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially when he can hide his core behind a large object that's indestructible.
I love last week's match where all 4 players attempted to do the ball swing.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was absolutely amazing. Made me very happy to see. All right. It looks like we're good to go, so let's jump into the action here. I never drink actual tea. It's usually some fruity tisane. That's because caffeine doesn't like me. Me and caffeine are, we don't go very well together. So yes, you were correct.
Here we go.
Alright. And we're off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 1 in this best of 5, where we have Team Fortified versus Team Westwind. Looks like we've got some scattershot versus seep action. As here on the left-hand side, it is Team Fortified playing as the scattershot commander. Although they'll be trying to use all those kinetic weapons to completely destroy and clean blow through Team Westwind. Team Westwind on the right side in the red are playing as the Seep Commander. Seep Commander? Well, this is the Missile Commander. Gets bonuses to missile weapons and such, including rockets. Although typically we see them going pretty deep into the swarm missile tech and eventually nukes, usually sooner rather than later. The sniper war has already begun, and it looks like Team Fortified has come out on top. Now, the question is, how do the teams proceed from here? Now, typically, the Seep Commander tends to be a little bit more aggressive, just because the rocket weapons tend to be early to mid-game style weapons. Whereas Fortified, running the autocannon heavy commander, tends to be a little bit later, just because autocannons of the various kinds take a bit more time to get onto the field. You see snipers just coming out from Team Westwind, just plinking away at that turbine. That's a very, very sniper thing to do, especially in the AI matches. But it's
Oh. And it looks like Jaeger is not going either rockets nor swarms, but heavy weapons instead.
Yes, we saw this a lot in the previous weekend, during the semifinals, where despite going the Seep Commander, we have one player going for heavy weapons, specifically the lasers, because, well, the lasers are just very, very good at doing the whole anti-air kind of situation. The fire beam specifically just burn anti-air rounds out of the sky and let that nuke land and deal its damage. We do see Malm here in the first fort in the red, the closest fort in the red, going straight to the upgrade sensor tech, even selling off their tier 1 tech to get it faster. This means they're going quick nukes, which is not a surprise. A buzzsaw chopping down the turbine for Finn. Little proximate violence. The swarm missiles launch, and
It takes
across
single
the
mine.
field they
That's
go.
good.
Does manage to take out one mine for Embrulo here, which is painful, but nothing that's going to be super critical. We do see both players for Team Blue, Team Fortified, looking to get up into those higher tech weapons. I do want to point out the difference in economy between the two players, because moments ago they were exactly the same, where Embrulo is now approximately 300 monies behind Finn by virtue of having to reconstruct that mine. We do see Embrulo still getting the 20mm out before Finn, as Finn is developing additional wind turbines instead. Just a surprise to me, all things considered, but let's see how that moves on. For Team Westwind over here, we have nuclear launch, or nuclear silos detected. Okay.
And a couple of fire beams. And on that angle, they will be very useful for the anti-air.
Yes. Very useful for the ends here. Also useful for burning some of the 20 mils.
Yes, it is true that it will be a great counter whenever they find out that
Yes, I do find it likely that Team Westwind doesn't know that Team Fortified is the the scattershot commander. At least not just yet, although I'm sure they'll figure that. They're gonna figure that out in the next few seconds here. We'll see how they react to that. There's not a whole lot of reaction needed, although a couple extra energy shields is oftentimes a good little benefit there. We do see a plasma beam placed for Geiger up in the top corner. The question is, with these nukes now complete, when will Team Westwind be firing them? The answer is right now. And fire beams come out. Oh, massive damage.
Taking great damage.
But no plasma beam follow-up, so Finn will survive, although that's the kind of hit they can't take multiple times in a row.
But now they do have their active ready if needed. And I think
Indeed.
320 mils should be able to take out one player.
Yes,
If they
especially
focus fire.
Malm, who is not particularly well defended around their core.
Oh, they didn't use it. I'm actually very surprised.
Interesting.
Oh.
We do
Drunk.
have Drunk Nuke.
Oh. Oh.
A lot of damage, but not enough to break anything.
They really need to retaliate as soon as possible.
Yes. Fortified needs to get those scattershot active 20s out as soon as they can. Because Westwind's just about ready to fire again, and they're going to be relentless with this. Oh,
no.
well. There goes one. And that's it. That's all the damage that Team Fortified's going to be able to do with this. Losing one of their weapons is gonna... It hurts them a lot. As Malm is... Honestly, Malm's a fair few seconds away from being able to fire those nukes again. They're only up at 4k energy, which is 50% of the energy needed. As there goes another 20 mil. Team Fortify is being picked apart here. They are absolutely not able to hold line against just the fire beams, let alone the nukes. And those nukes are coming. Nukes are coming in a few seconds here. Interestingly enough, Fortified has managed to take more damage from the fire beams than from the nukes. And yeah, the fire beam gets the core.
Oh.
Oh,
Nuke, swing and a miss. Plasma beam cuts it deep, but there's nothing there to hit. Just going deep into the armor. Okay, well, at this point, Team Fortify is just trying to fortify themselves up and recover from the madness that has been the Westwind aggression. Machine gun on machine gun violence. Commander ability active just to fire a single burst of 20 mil, which is not a lot of damage. Westwind, however, deals a lot of damage. Double nuke shot directly into the core, and Finn is knocked down. Ambrulo, the last one standing, with a single cannon and a whole lot of hatred heading his direction. Looks like they're trying to dust the front of Ambrulo's base, a little bit more machine gun fire in an effort to take out some of the anti-air. It's not enough. Nuke lands, he goes drunk, gets a lovely detonation. Still, no significant damage dealt. Ambrulo survives, rebuilds quickly, and is now prepared to do another commander active for the 20 mils, but with a single weapon available to them, Ambrulo's not going to be dealing substantial damage here. Earlier I mentioned the energy shields. That's because the energy shields deflect 20mm shells. Oh, well, that's devastating. Oh, and the turbine block doesn't save any of the weapons.
good attempts though.
Good attempt, very good attempt. They did actually catch the sniper round. The sniper round was going to eliminate one of those 20 mils, and the turbine caught it. saving it, but there were follow-up shots. It looks like Melm has finally fixed their economy to a point where they could constantly fire.
This is not
those
looking good.
nukes. Oh, it's looking very not good, and Brulo is being disassembled rapidly. And Brulo trying to get a sniper. Snipers, especially against lasers, are always a threat. Those miniguns, however, shredding all the sandbags, which is one of the few things keeping Ambrulo alive for any amount of time. Ambrulo's gonna be sitting there waiting to try to door snipe those fire beams, because there's not really much else they can do. Recovery for Ambrulo looks like fixing their economy, and then getting another 20 mil onto the field, but that's too little, too late, as it were. And
This should
Brulo's
be death.
forward defenses, yeah, once that fire plasma beam comes through,
Oh, they don't want
Doesn't?
to aim for the core.
yeah, either miss the core and hit all of Ambrulo's energy production, or aiming for the energy production in the first place, one of the two. Either way, Ambrulo taking massive damage. That's going to set them back on their economy back down to near zero. Ambrulo selling off their heavy weapons tech just to live for any amount of time longer. And there it is.
Yeah.
Team Westwind wins round 1 in this best of 5. Quite a well done bit of combat there.
Yeah, very swift. Very swift indeed.
Swift and explosive, I think is a good way to describe it.
Hmm.
Do you have a question from chat? How come 42 Scientists is not in the Pro League?
Because FPL admins are not allowed to be part of the Pro League.
Yes. 42 is one of the members here who's actually running the Pro League and therefore is not participating in Pro League.
It's not like I have written that rule myself to not participate.
Alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're setting up for round 2 here. Fortified versus Westwind as we get the maps and commanders all set up. We'll be jumping into the next round here momentarily. Nuke just vaporized. That was the first nuke that Finn took, and that was a lot of damage.
Big hit, yeah.
Every time the double nukes landed, it just did so very much. I mean, look at that. The base is just gone. Crumbling and on fire. This is the shot here that... Look at that. Look at the turbine. It ate the sniper shot. But, I mean, there's just too much there. Yeah, those nukes are what really ended Ambrulo. It's, very, very well done. This is why Seep is such a well, powerful and popular commander. Just getting those nukes consistently across the field. I mean, you can see how much damage they do. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when there's not enough AA in their face holding them back.
Exactly. Wow. I'm just happy that it's best of 5s now, because we get more matches with the upper tier players.
Yeah.
More
And we
rounds.
also get to see some more variety from the players, since they have to choose different commanders, different maps.
That too. That is one of the things I like about the commander picks and bans, because it forces variety rather than just the same, you know, 2 strategies over and over again. Otherwise it does get a little bit old. Stale? Stale is the word.
Yeah. Looks like everyone is ready.
Alright. The match is made, the players are ready. We're jumping into the next round right now. Team Westwind versus Team Fortified. Alright, it looks like we've got a pinch fist mirror match. Oh my. We're gonna see some anemic bases, skeletalized structures, and a lot of speed. You can see the triple turbine start, dead giveaway that it's a pinch fist build, at least in something resembling an
And a lot of
optimized one.
greed.
And a lot of
Very
greed.
greed.
Alright, bets on who gets buzzsawed first. Literally every player is going buzzsaw tech, so buzzsaws are happening. You see snipers from Team Fortified here.
It's like Westwind is not even trying the sniper war right now.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
Molly.
maybe Malm there. Yeah, last time they didn't participate too much in the sniper war either. Like they built one sniper, lost the sniper duel instantly, and then didn't try. So
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see that they're not participating. Oh wow, Team Fortified is
No
not
buzzsaws.
doing no buzzsaws at all. They're
Straight
just
tech.
straight tech, and it looks like they're getting the same from Westwind as well.
Ah,
The
no,
worst part
Molly
is-
doing one buzzsaw.
Okay, I was about to say, because, like, 3 out of 4 of these players are very vulnerable to buzzsaws right now. Although, Mahomet with the delayed buzzsaw is gonna give Team Fortified enough time to stabilize there. Interestingly enough, Mahomet is the only one who's still vulnerable to buzzsaws.
Hopefully not for long.
Hopefully not for long. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. They're not going to be punished for it, because Team Fortified's not going
Yes.
buzzsaw. But,
But
of course...
they don't know that.
They don't know that is the big thing, yes. They can't know that they're not being punished, so they have to. There it is. Alright, so now Malme has recognized that player's not vulnerable to buzzsaws. You may as well fire
There
it
might
out
be
through them
one
anyways.
shot just right above the mines, but that's it.
Yeah, that's one of those shots where, so for what 42 is mentioning, there is technically a space above the mine where the hitbox of the mine doesn't actually match the graphic that we see here. There's technically a space above the mine that isn't the mine, which means they can still get shot there. So it's still technically vulnerable, but it is such a difficult and long shot to
It's a
make that
gamble.
it's a gamble. Like, you as a human are not going to make that shot with any amount of consistency, let alone buzzsaw deviation. So
Exactly, yeah.
you don't actively try to make that shot, but it is technically possible. And because players don't actually make an effort to make that shot, you generally don't bother to defend against it, which is why we see every player here not defending against it.
I mean,
It's
there
like
is one good defense to do, and it's what some players have done, placing a sandbag right above the wood so that it falls if the buzzsaw hits the first strut. It protects from the other ones.
Yes, a little bit of... I guess that counts as reactive armor, doesn't it?
Basically, yeah, exactly.
Reactive armor tech. Yeah, that is a strat I've seen a few times, and it works. It's just, like, why though? It's not gonna...
It doesn't cost much, so might as well do it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But again, pinch face and greed, anyway.
I know. That's just how it goes. Either way, we've got a perfect mirror. Both teams, the lower fort is going for howitzers, and on both teams, the upper fort's going for firebeam plasma beam. And there's not much to say because both teams are perfect mirrors to the point where they are within a second of each other. That's it.
Oh,
Team
unfortunate.
Fortified decides to fire first. Oh. Is that enough? Nope. Oh, that was close. Finn almost losing their fire beam. Team Fortified almost losing their fire beam there. The howitzers are completing simultaneously for both teams. The question is, who fires at first? Looks like it's gonna be Geiger. Team Westwind opening fire with the howitzer. Fire beam, plasma beam follow-up. Goes straight to Embrulo's core. Can do it.
Oh.
Nope.
Doesn't quite touch the core. And Westwind loses a fire beam in the process.
They do have a replacement one in their spam.
They do, yes. So the fire beam threat still exists for Team Westwind. His howitzer ignited. It lands. Plasma follow-up? Maybe?
Oh, that was close. Oh.
Oh.
There's just so much going on across the screens. First, Finn fires at Geiger, nearly touches Pennons all the way to the core, gets fully through all the armor, and just leaves the core with a single shred of wood. But Finn loses both of their lasers in retaliation. Just as Finn door sniped Malm's lasers, Malm door sniped Finn's, and that's the end of that. Geiger, this is one deviation.
Oh, I thought that was going to take
between that was close. Oh, the sandbag saving it. That's a lot of damage. This is one
Howitzers
deviation.
have so much health, but yeah.
They do. Howitzers need like a lot of focus fire. The one deviation in the build orders here. Geiger for Team Westwind builds a standard cannon, while Embrulo built additional defenses. Other than that, that's about it. But that will leave Team Westwind with more damage output than Team Fortified, at least at this stage of the game. Standard cannon doing cannon things, opening the doorway for the laser to follow through. Embrulo loses every single one of their energy production turbines. Synchronized howitzer firing, and exposed internals for both teams. Exposed cannon versus exposed core, both of which their gaps are covered before critical damage is dealt. You can't get any more even-footed than that. We're talking simultaneous howitzer firings. That was beautiful. I like this match already.
I'll have to check if it was on the same frame, but I think it was.
I was gonna say, I didn't hear the echoey difference, but that was almost same frame. I was like, I didn't want to mention it. I didn't want to say anything, but it sounded like that was almost same frame. Which is kind of impressive, actually. The snipers for Team Fortified are doing good work. You'll love to see it. How many sniper? Commander activated for Team Fortified. This implies they wish to deal damage. Howitzer fires, fire beam defends, and close but not quite. Energy shields for Team Westwind, keeping them intact. It looks like, yeah, they're selling off that cannon. They're unable to hold the line there with that cannon, so they're just not. Quick shout out to Geiger, who's building temporary metal structure behind their base. This is because Pinchfist gets 100% return on their investment, so they can build that as a temporary bank, a reserve for a rainy day. So much laser fire. Every which way. Embrulo getting penetrated deep, but not enough to touch the internal devices. Similarly, Malme getting hit pretty hard with lasers, but again, not enough to break anything of import. we're back to just stabilizing. Geiger reconstructing the front of their base after taking a heavy hit. Snipers for Team Fortified being infuriating. That's a potentially devastating hit. If they can line it up, didn't line it up. That was a moment where Malm's foundation defenses were fully broken there. More fire being
This is
on.
basically a fighting game structure where players go back to neutral and then do their moves.
Yeah, actually, that's a fairly accurate description. Howitzer flies. Anti-howitzer laser beam. Oh, Ambrilo taking a heavy hit there. I think Westwind developing the second howitzer is potentially the thing that will break Fortified down and give them the victory here. As Fortified has struggled to ramp up the damage potential, the damage output, whereas Team Westwind is constantly ramping up here. And it has left Team Westwind with less defenses, as you could see the difference in the thickness of the bases. But so far... Oh
I don't have
my.
enough neurons for this.
It's just so much happening simultaneously. They're so in sync with all of their decisions that everything happens at the same time.
Yeah.
And I can't even zoom in and get close-ups of the damage because there's damage happening everywhere simultaneously. It's crazy. And we're about to see another double firing of the howitzer. But now I'm running out of energy at the... No, they got door sniped. Never mind. Finn being a door gremlin, a door monger over here. Door sniping Malm at every opportunity. It's working really well. It's keeping Malm from just overwhelming laser power. Geiger preparing to fire again. Another heavy hit in front of the base. Devastating damage.
Oh.
Oh, ho, ho. Just a little bit lower, that would have overpenned. Geiger is concerningly vulnerable to laser fire right now. Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
too much weight.
We got blinking floor longs.
This is terrible.
Yeah, Geiger is not happy about that one. Geiger had a partial collapse of their base. Living off of stability tech and nothing else.
Here we go.
Oh,
That's-
there it is.
That's got to be.
Stability tech holding Ambrilo up.
Oh my god.
Is this it?
No.
A swing and a miss. Oh no. Is that battery enough? Nope. Battery exposed, available for direct
Oh, he's
fire,
trying to
and
believe
Brulo's
it.
selling the batteries before they detonate. Oh ho ho. Another howitzer shot.
That's got to be it.
Oh yes.
And it crumbles. Devastating damage. So many howitzer rounds. That was so close. Ambrilo nearly survived that too. And that just leaves Finn with their door sniping based lasers against the world. Which, to be fair, has almost eliminated both Malm and Geiger at different points of the game here. A good proper door snipe against Geiger in some of those howitzer positions is 100% enough to eliminate them entirely. Similarly, Malm is on the cusp of collapse, having their base been deformed from the inside out too many times.
At least his forelongs are blinking.
Yes, for the moment.
Oh.
Geiger could be going at any moment, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah. Geiger's very close to having massive structural issues. Malm has managed to fix a majority of the structure issues. The problem is once you get a blinking forlong, it's almost impossible to fix it, because the only thing that can survive taking the weight from blinking forlong is another forlong, and you have to have multiple of them, which means that they have to have reset their stability tech, which works, but they've reset their stability tech such that they now have multiple blinking two longs, which isn't uncommon, but it does mean that your four longs are stretched to the breaking point, and your two longs are stretched to the breaking point. So if something happens and those two longs shatter, the already stretched four longs are going to go as well.
This plasma door snipe back and forth was epic.
Yep.
It really was. Honestly, that's been the state of the game for the past 8 minutes.
Yep.
It's been constant. It's been the door sniping has been gross. It's been constant, and it's difficult to deal with for both sides here. Finn isn't quite out of it, but they're certainly not in a happy position. The lack of rapid howitzer deployment is keeping Finn in the game for the moment, and that will give Finn an opportunity to deal damage and potentially wipe out a player. But once that
The
portal
portal
comes
is being
online
set
for
up.
Geiger,
Yeah.
the howitzer will come online, and that's going to put Finn on a pretty tight timer. Finn does have some solid defenses. I doubt they'll go down in the office strike. It's just limited lifespan beyond that. Mind you, the portal does mean a beautiful opportunity to door snipe that howitzer, which could be potentially fort destroying for Geiger on the blue team. He does
He
indeed
tried it.
try for the door snipe, and gets a lot of damage actually. That's a beautiful shot, but doesn't quite make the core rending. Oh, that's bad. Finn just lost their last plasma. And with the last of their plasmas gone, Finn doesn't have any proper door sniping tools. That's gonna put Team Fortified into a rough position. They desperately need a plasma out immediately, and they don't have a way of doing that. However, the fire beams being burned, that's gonna be some damage. Sniper from Finn taking out the greedy bits. Malm trying to get greedy with it, putting exposed fire beams around, and it's not working out for him. One more fire beam, I guess 2 more fire beams in that upper weapons platform. Could see Malm burning heavily, losing additional weaponry. Not sure if Finn recognizes the threat of those weapons up there, but using a sniper to punish exposed weapons. Is this man going to build artillery-style howitzers? I believe that's going to be artillery trajectory howitzers there.
I mean, the German community has not stopped complaining about high mortars, so why not high howitzers?
I mean, it's a good strat. Pre-sniping.
Howitzers are basically just big mortars.
They really are, and they do a lot of damage.
Oh, there's a good lob shot.
Oh, it's a very good, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, solid hit.
For a first shot, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's quite difficult, especially through a portal.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Let's see. Finn almost has their plasma reconstructed.
Oh.
A little bit of anti-synergy with that cannon.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
nice.
Fire beam, plasma beam just goes clear to the core.
Yep.
And there it is. Team Westwind winning round 2 in this best of 5.
Finn did well to hold them off while he could. He tried.
The best part is he almost eliminated those players on the other side.
He
Like every
almost-
time they fired, he almost got those shots. Like I realized that the bases didn't take catastrophic damage. Lasers typically don't deal that widespread, satisfying chunk of damage every time they fire. They just pen deep, hit something critical, and the whole base falls down. And so many of their shots almost did exactly that. I mean, we had blinking forelongs at one point.
Yep.
Oh dear.
That was some good action.
That was some very good action. I like seeing the howitzers, the double howitzer, chunk through. This moment here,
Yeah.
oh god, the
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, but he's-
Ambrulo barely hanging on.
Yeah, he survived that first bit until he didn't.
Just the entire foundation just disintegrates and he comes collapsing straight down. That's a lot of damage. What does it at the end, it wasn't even the howitzer. Just fire beam, plasma beam, cutting clean through. All right. So next up will be on SSS Skylines. This was one of the maps that was created in the map making competition. Map making competition Victor. Quite a good map. Very visually appealing.
And very interesting gameplay wise as well.
Oh yes. It's got some unusual base designs with a kind of, I'm going to describe it as a caverns-like expansion.
Yes, that makes sense.
It's a very long drop on a diagonal slant to
And it has some abyss stones as well.
It does, it does.
I guess Westwind has
Okay.
the opportunity to finish this off.
Yes, absolutely.
They do. This is 2-0 for Westwind,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
means this is match point. If
Potential
Team
clean
Westwind
sweep.
wins, absolutely. If Westwind wins this one, they knock Fortified out. They go forward in the and on to the finals. So Team Fortified really has to make a comeback here. They got to do the reverse sweep in order to stay alive
Oh yeah.
here. Alright, so the players are just about ready here. We'll be moving on to the next round momentarily. Alright, the match is made. The players are ready. Let's jump into the action, shall we? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And welcome to round 3 in this best of 5. The score is currently 0-2, favoring Team Westwind. Team Westwind on the right-hand side. They're playing as the Scattershot Commander. If SA gets their opponents, Team Fortified, playing as the Pinch Fist Commander. Team Fortified looking to keep themselves alive in this round by defeating their opponents because this is a best of 5. And Westwind has 2 points, meaning this is match point for Team Westwind. Either Fortified wins this round and gets to try again, or Team Westwind moves on to the finals. What is... Ambrulo's got some rear turbines on the left-hand side that I didn't expect to see. That's a really good idea, actually. Compared to Westwind on the right-hand side, who has put their heavy weapons tech just out there, behind Malma's core, which is an interesting place to put it. I don't know what's happening. This is what I mentioned about this being this is what I mentioned about this being an unusual map. It's just got little extensions places in places that I would not expect to be. Are they gonna share this technology? Is that what's happening here?
Oh, that would be so cool.
It has been so long since I've seen heavy weapons tech get shared. And I think we may actually be seeing that here. So this is potentially a map-specific strategy which has got going on at this point. And that's, I guess, that's fine. It's just unusual. And I like unusual strategies. I
love it, yeah.
I don't know how this changes things. I don't know what's gonna happen. Is what I've got, is where my mind is at right now. Yeah, that's tech sharing.
That's great.
Okay then.
Good sync.
Very good thing. So that does mean that Melm has saved up money for a long time, and means they can immediately place their cannon, which they're not doing because they haven't built the cannon. It's a howitzer, that's why. Okay.
It's a howitzer, yes. We have the storage.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of interesting activity going on the right-hand side here.
Oh, this howitzer would be very hard to defend, actually, I think.
Not only is it going to be hard to defend, who expects that's like 60 seconds faster? No one expects the 4.5 minute howitzer. Mind you, Fortified's doing the same thing just naturally with Pinch Fist, because that's how Pinch Fist do. But
tiny bit slower, but yes.
Yes.
Maybe 10 seconds. And they lost the control of 2 mines, which will set them back a bit.
Just a little bit.
Especially if he doesn't think to reconnect. Okay.
They do reconnect. On top of the howitzer from Malm, there are 2 20 mils as well. Remember, they were playing as the scattershot commander, so 20 mils get empowered. The question is, who fires their howitzer first and how much damage does it deal? Because it is going to come down to those first howitzer rounds. Geiger has once again reclaimed the technology on the right-hand side and is using it to produce 20 mils of their own. God, it has been so long since I've seen a strategy revolving around shared technologies. It's such a very difficult thing to maintain.
Unfortunately, they won't have the active or the alpha strike.
That is correct. Westwind will not have the active ability for the alpha strike, but that's not unsurprising. That's fairly normal. Question is, where do they fire first? Because they do know where Ambrulo's howitzer is, and if they can remove that, that's just going to put Team Westwind kind of far in the lead.
They can also remove 3 mines, I guess.
It's a solid hit.
Yes.
20 mil follow-up.
Wow.
That's it.
Oh, that was a lot of damage.
2 mines eliminated, and the howitzer gone. That's not only that, but they disconnected.
Oh.
Close, but not quite. Geiger surviving the fire beam plasma beam attempt on their core. So at this point, Team Fortified is at a substantial disadvantage. An early and devastating howitzer hit almost fully defangs Team Fortified here. Of course, just like last round, Finn with the Fire Beam Plasma Beam can deal devastating damage. But that's it.
Wow.
A clean focus fire and Ambrulo's knocked out.
At 6 minutes.
At 6 minutes. That's devastating. There was some return fire. Door snipes happens. Westwind losing 2 out of 3 of their 20 mils. But I mean, that's a wonderful, like, I'd take that trade all day. 20 mils to remove an entire player. Is that gonna be another 20 mil lost? Not quite. That was close. That was down to like 5% HP before it stopped burning. I'm pretty certain that howitzer. I was gonna say, I'm pretty certain that howitzer doesn't actually have an angle on Finn's base, Finn's core, so they're just removing the additional expansion opportunities.
It probably does at the cost of lesser power fire. But it would be moving slower.
I think if they undo some of the wood up top here.
Yes, probably, yes.
I think they would get it, yeah. Like slow fire, drop that shot. It can probably be done, but I still think they would have to remove the wood to do it. Ooh. Maybe not anymore. Let the base deform. A couple energy shields coming out for Finn here as the 20 mils can't break them. Anti-air enough to knock out that howitzer, or at least the howitzer shell. Sniping out of both sides. Fortified wins the sniper duel. The question is, how do you, as Fortified's last remaining player, come back from this situation?
I think you become tar or eaten.
One of the two, yes. Realistically, anyone with a Fire Beam Plasma Beam combo can make substantial, has great comeback options. It's just, they're on a timer here to do that damage. And the timer it's rapidly increasing its pace. Looks like Finn just about ready to fire. Well, they're struggling for energy production. So they can't actually fire their weapons right now. As you can see. Wow. Sniping, mostly from Westwind at the moment. As here comes more empowered 20s. Dealing good damage, howitzer shot out of the sky again. More empowered 20s, one other volley. That's enough. Oh my god. The double shot sniper, the rapid fire snipers, just following up. With that, Finn loses the last of their weapons, and with the last of their weapons, so too goes any hope of them curtailing and retaliating for the violence kitted against them. It's looking a little rough here for Team Fortified. With 0 points, 0 match wins on the board for them, Finn and Ambrulo are looking like they're going to get knocked out here, as Team Westwind is coming in for the clean sweep. At this point, what do? Like, is it just build a return to sender and hope that your opponent door snipes themselves? Because, I mean, look at all the cannon rounds coming at them. Buzzsaws starting to disconnect things. neither base for Team 2 is on the cusp of collapse. I find it extremely unlikely that anything with the buzzsaw is going to be enough. As shot by shot, Team Fortified loses internal and important bits. With that, they're targeting the mines at this point, knocking Finn down to, well, it's still 7 mines, which is more than you usually get. But that's still about 1 player's worth of mines compared to Team 2, rocking out at 2 full bases. It's ahead, get further ahead. As every shot just takes more and more out. Finn timing that buzzsaw to cancel a 20 mil volley, just to mitigate a little extra. But I mean, what do? Team Westwind building more and more weapons. Oh,
that was very close to a collapse.
Important structural integrity. Load-bearing struts taken out. Finn almost getting ripped off the edge of the ravine. And there it is. A little bit more focus fire, and Westwind takes it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 3-0 victory favoring Team Westwind. Well done.
Clean sweep.
A clean sweep. Didn't expect a clean sweep out of this match, especially given how close each of the matches were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was at no point was it like obvious that one team was going to win until suddenly someone's core got taken out. And then well, even then in the previous match, even after losing a core, Team Fortified wasn't out of the fight. Well, that got intense. That got very intense. You know, I must say, as much as I don't often use 20 mils, they are probably the most satisfying weapon when spammed.
Yes.
Especially in slow motion.
Yeah. And when they're empowered like this, with the commander active, they just have that extra punch, you know?
Yes. The empowering is what gives them that makes them the real threat. All right.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a couple minute break here before going on to the next round in the semifinals. As we see the lovely destruction in slow motion. Look at that.
Awesome.
Team Monkey Air Force versus Team Skill Gap coming up right after this break. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second round, the second match of the semifinals here in the Forts Pro League. As we'll be jumping into the next round momentarily, as it's Team Skill Gap versus Monkey Air Force. You guys know
Welcome
these
back,
teams.
everyone. This is Dev Nosehead bringing you back to the action while we wait for our good friend Incursus to come back.
To grab his tea, probably.
Yes. Welcome back. Sorry, I had myself muted on Discord there as I started the intro. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Forts Pro League semifinals. We have Team Skill Gap versus Team Monkey Air Force. Do you guys know these teams? You guys love them. It's Clau Alice and I am myself versus Helicopter and Eaton. Skill Gap versus Monkey Air Force. The players are ready, the match is made. So we'll be jumping into the action here momentarily. I believe we gotta gotta do the bans real quick before actually jumping into the action here. Remember, this is the semifinals. So the victor of this is moving on to the finals. And the losers knocked down to the third place match.
The poll on chat is very close.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that.
Interesting.
We have 51-49 for Monkey Air Force versus Skill Gap here. Which you guys think is going to win? Now, I think I know which team is favored. But if I'm happy whenever you guys are seeing it as something even, because it's like the perfect matchup. But that's what these skill-based matchmaking is for.
Yep.
When you squeeze the top, you get even matches. And even matches are good matches. Alright. Looks like balls are banned this time, so we won't be seeing the ball swing going around.
And no, too bad.
Oh, darn it.
I mean, it's very interesting how your chat has basically switched around because like last time they didn't really favor Skill Gap at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Skill Gap just did a clean sweep of everyone.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, they are, relatively speaking, the newcomers here.
Basically,
and they are going against, the definitive champions of past, So, yeah, this is going to be a good matchup.
It really is. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love when we see... they aren't new players. Not anymore. But I love seeing players who have been beaten several times in previous events get better to the point where they are literally fighting for second place in like best in the Forts world right now.
Yep.
It's a story that you can't get anywhere else, and I love it.
Yep. Eaton is currently... He does, or they do. Eaton is currently ranked 6th, and Klaus is 9th.
Yes, but was it Eaton was in chat, actually, complaining about him getting knocked down to 6th place.
Yeah.
He's like, these guys, they're laddering too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's funny. Good lord. Alright, and the commander bands. Let's see, we got bands coming up here. Seep and Phantom are banned. Well, I guess if there's no ball swing, no reason to let Phantom stay around. Pinch Fist for both teams. Architect, Warthog, Armadillo. Honestly, I'm not surprised to see Armadillo pick for both teams. We do see an Eagle Eye pick. Okay, so fairly standard commanders all the way around. Every commander chosen by every player plays something that is close to a standard build order. Architect and Pinch Fist are the only two that kind of sort of deviate a little bit, where Architect deviates more eco-focused, and Pinch Fist
Rushes more, I guess.
Rush is a way that is greedy to the point that it is a deviant from every other build. All the other commanders use pretty much the same build orders for most standard timings. Armadillo, like Architect, can do a eco-focused build rather than a weapon-focused build, but even then, you tend to not see it so much. To a lesser extent, yeah. Architect is like, I'm a build a cube, and you have to shoot I dare you to shoot my cube. Whereas Armadillo doesn't actually want to be shot. Architect wants to be shot. It makes it a little weirder. Alright, so we'll be starting this next match here in about 60 seconds. So if you guys are still out grabbing your popcorn, grabbing your drink, we'll make it a quick one because we'll be going momentarily.
This should be exquisite.
Yes, this is the match of the two matches today. This is the one I was most looking forward to. I'm very happy about this. Alright. We're starting it up right now. The player's loading in as we jump into round 1 in this best of 5. Team Skill Gap versus Monkey Air Force. And it's a mirror match, ladies and gentlemen. Left-hand side and right-hand side, Skill Gap and Monkey Air Force will both be playing as Pinch Fist. And the question becomes, who gets buzzsawed first? Because Pinch Fist is a game of selling your fort, making it as spindly, as skeletalized as possible, so you can sell off as many internal components as you can, in the interest of optimizing your build orders. I am questioning... Alright, okay, so this is... Y'all are late on your minds. Eaton...
That is true.
Eaton especially hates delaying mines by any amount of frames. Why did you build your technology before? What did you change about your build? What happened here?
I mean, they might be underestimating their opponents.
I don't think that's the case.
I would not be surprised.
So what I think is happening here is... Alright, so there's a couple different... This is quibbling over super early game stuff, and this is just strategy, a layer strategies I never talk about because that's just not something that the viewers can really tell the difference about. There's two different openers for Pinch Fist that I've seen with any regularity. One is tech first before mines, and one is mines before tech. And I don't typically comment on it because why not? Because like, why though? But Eaton here has firmly and always been on this side of mines before tech. And when I mean not just, he's not only on the side of mines before tech, he's mines before weapons. This man is a mineral fiend. And so to see him go so deep into weapons before mines that he has to place his mines with a gap just to defend against buzzsaws is weird to me. Like, I don't know what to do with this information other than ask why. But otherwise we see some fairly standard builds, order out of everything. We're going to see howitzers out of both of the bottom forts, lasers out of both of the top forts, and just like the previous mirror match, they are within a second or two of each other. So we're talking perfect mirror match, perfect timings all the way across the board, and that's really all there is to say about it. We see Eaton getting the howitzer, it's like a solid 8-10 seconds faster than I am myself. What? I am myself floating over here. What's... Ah, weapon platform is built incorrectly, so we had to adjust. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so we've got... we've got Fire Beam, Plasma Beam for both teams. Actually, Monkey Air Force at this point is just ahead of Skill Gap. Skill Gap with a little bit of suboptimal timing with the placements is gonna leave them a good 8 seconds behind, 8-10 seconds behind their Monkey Air Force counterparts. So Team Blue here is slightly behind Team Red on the right. This can have catastrophic effects. Only time will tell, and time, I mean, in an order of 45 seconds or so, we'll know. So it's just a matter of waiting those 45 seconds and letting it go. This map, or this round, is basically a 5-minute no rush, 4.5-minute no rush as the rushing is happening. We do see the timing difference here, as Monkey Air Force is able to catch Skill Gap's energy weapons in production, and while they're in production they cannot be repaired and therefore they burn to death, and Skill Gap can do nothing to prevent this. So that's just a timing diff there. And the Fire Beam's off cooldown again, and as is the Plasma Beams. We're about to see a clean combo, Fire Beam, Plasma Beam. I am myself vulnerable and knocked out. That is officially a pre-5-minute player elimination. That is peak pinch fist play from Monkey Air Force.
It has been a while since I saw that last.
Yeah, that is... I mean, that's just... There's no tricks, no fanciness. It's just clean precision play with maximum optimized... Yes. Purely. That's clinical. That's like you can't do something more consistently, more orderly than that. And that only happens when both players simultaneously do that, because as you notice, the howitzer alone wasn't enough to break. It required the howitzer plus the Fire Beam Plasma Beam combo, meaning both players from Monkey Air Force had to have a pre-5-minute timing. And that's it. Team Skill Gap loses a player.
It looks like Ethan has adapted his doors for his howitzer.
That they have. So Clow is about to get blasted by howitzer. Although they do have plenty of machine gunners. Well, plenty is a strong word, but enough machine gunners to probably knock out the howitzer. Mind you, Eaton has a sniper, so they're not going to be long for this world. Yeah, Team Monkey Air Force is committing extermination with prejudice against all things machine gunners shaped. That'll leave Eaton clean to fire the howitzer across the field as Helicopter, doing the helicopter thing of many very well aimed laser beams. Cloud hanging on to their own laser, hoping to get that door snipe. I don't know when they're intending to fire it, but I presume it's going to be immediately after the howitzer firing. And I imagine it's going to be not at the howitzer, but instead at Helicopter's laser beam. Because that will be the follow-up threat, and will match the timing for the door snipe. There's a fire beam,
1, 2,
fire
3,
beam.
4.
So perfectly placed, all in those same doors. Then we're gonna see howitzer fired, and this is Clow's opportunity to laser beam. Does not take it.
He does defend.
Does defend the howitzer, that is true.
Oh, he's on.
Looks like Cloud wants to do something with that fire beam, but I don't know what it is.
Oh.
Swing and a miss. Trying to door snipe helicopter's plasma. Doesn't quite get it. His helicopter didn't open the doors. We see multiple buzzsaws coming out from Eaton here. Some heavy damage and the plasma followed with the core. Overpens but misses the core. Cloud taking massive damage. I think that's going to be it. Even if Cloud wants to defend here, the fire beams will ensure everything burns the ground. Retaliation with the plasma, but it's not enough. As Cloud starts to burn even more.
Rapidly. Oh, yes.
That's it.
I will have to watch the replay to see who killed.
Yeah, I think technically...
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yes. I think technically the howitzer got the kill, but I mean, realistically, the fire beams were had also passed lethal. So that was grossly timed, and you love to see it.
Yeah, that was clinical.
Yeah, it wasn't
Clinical
okay.
is the appropriate word, yes. It's just perfect precision, perfect timing, perfect build for the entire duration of the match up to the 5-minute mark, the 4-minute and 57-second mark, when they just clean penned and eliminated Skill Gap's first player. Yeah. So at this point in the replay, you could see everything is on fire, and for so long as everything is on fire, the core will take damage over time.
Ooh. What do you think took him out there? Was it the laser or the howitzer? I thought it might be the laser that I'm looking at the replay.
It was the howitzer. I just checked at 160 speed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the howitzer, although any of them could have done it.
Yep. Could have been the fire.
It would have been the fire if the howitzer missed, is the thing.
Yep. Because
the core was on fire and at like 6% when the howitzer hit. So the core would have detonated just due to the fire alone. Like, the Team Monkey Air Force had lethal in multiple directions. It was beautiful.
Mm.
So I don't know what... I still want to ask Eaton about the difference between the mine placement, just for my own curiosity. Let me ask Eaton, actually. I'm in the lobby, I can ask this. Oh god. Nope, not doing that. Keyboard's in German. Never mind.
I mean, it doesn't change a lot of things. Like, I think only the Y because it becomes a Z or something like this.
I don't know, but several letters did not match my keyboard. I don't want to deal with that right now.
Yeah, I think German is like quartz with a Z at the end.
So what is this do? Okay, I'm going to try this then. Oh, well, never mind. We're about ready to start the match here, so I'll have to ask the question later. It's like I started typing and there's Y's and Z's coming out where they're not supposed to. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
What? Did not expect that. All right. The match is made. The players are ready as we go into round 2 of Skill Gap versus Monkey Air Force. The map will be caverns. We have a bit of top and bottom bases. Not a mirror match this time. Big shock. Monkey Air Force will be on the left-hand side playing as the Armadillo Commander versus Skill Gap who are once again playing as the Pinchfist commander. Pinchfist commander is great for all those speed buffs. You can see the dead giveaway triple turbine placements on the right hand side that'll let Monkey Air Force know that they are in fact playing against Pinchfist once again. More interestingly, Team Monkey Air Force is playing as the Armadillo commander. This gives them a realistic option of going upgrade center first from maximum economic play. This is also extra beneficial in this matchup in particular, because Pinchfist tends to burn out quite quickly as they focus weapons over economy. And so as Monkey Air Force playing as the Armadillo commander, you have the option to defend that early alpha strike a lot easier, owing to Armadillo defensive benefits. And as such, you have a much more clean path to mass economic industrialization. This is something that we may see here, as after we get typically players who go with the economic development will get it after getting tier 1 tech, and there we see it. Eaton in the top base on left hand side has developed, he's placed the upgrade center, so we'll get to see, presumably that is for economy rather than early game aggression. Similarly, Helicopter in the bottom base is doing the same thing. Now, for the other side of the field, this is a great concern, because Team Skill Gap does not know the commander choice of their opponent, so they don't know that this is going to be an economic upgrade center rather than a aggressive upgrade center. So Team Skill Gap is likely to be a little wary here, thinking, oh my god, am I gonna get rocketed out of nowhere? Because Monkey Air Force did not hide the fact that they're going for upgrade center there, so they gotta be super careful about that. It is worth noting that Team Skill Gap's upper player is also going for upgrade center. And they're using that for economic investment as well. They're already up to 5 upgraded mines. You'll love to see it.
Oh yeah, they come 6th, sadly.
Yes. There is nothing there's nothing illegal about a Pinchfist player going for upgraded mines and upgraded economy generally. However, it is unusual.
And
the reason for that is
as well.
Yes. The reason for that is it doesn't benefit Pinchfists more to go for the upgraded eco than anyone else, and Pinchfist, because of the early game sell-off, requires additional defenses or additional offense to prevent incoming damage. So it's a little bit rough of a decision to do that, a little bit extra risky of a decision to do that when playing Pinchfist, but they're not going to get punished for it. And the reason for that is Monkey Air Force is going maximum economy. So so going maximum economy, so no one's getting punished for, being extra greedy in the early game. So Pinchfist will be a little bit ahead of here, but we'll see how that turns out. Generally speaking, Team 1, Monkey Air Force here on the left-hand side, will have a stronger economy, as they combined will have more upgraded mines than Skill Gap on the other side will have, as Skill Gap is only half upgraded in terms of players. It is worth noting that I am myself the bottom player for Team Skill Gap, does have a Fire Beam already completed, and is just about completing a Fire Beam there. They're going for your standard Pinchfist timing. They're going to have that by 4:40 on the clock. And with it, 4:45 it looks like. And with it, they can start doing some damage. That'll keep Team Monkey Air Force in check. Make sure that they're not doing anything super cheesy. Mind you, we can see from the all-knowing, all-seeing spectator POV that there is no points anywhere on Team Monkey Air Force's base that is vulnerable to such damage. So Monkey Air Force, courtesy of additional and benefits, economic investments, has enough money to fully defend themselves against a fire beam, plasma beam. Of course, that's only from one fire beam, plasma beam. If they don't do something to curtail the inevitable expansion of skill gaps damage output, then they're going to be in trouble. As here we have the first cannon fired. Eaton takes a solid hit, losing, I think that was a buzzsaw. I was not paying attention to what yeah. I wasn't paying too much attention to what he had up there. Yes, this is going to be a fairly slow
are
game.
the tiniest doors I have ever seen on a howitzer placement.
Yes. Yes, this is a howitzer that's meant to shoot in one place and exactly one place, and physically cannot shoot anywhere else.
I mean, you can adjust the power, but it doesn't do much.
If you can't adjust the power too much, you could hit your own door.
Oh yes.
The door, it's a long, narrow tunnel. You gotta really... I'm pretty certain the howitzer graphic, like the actual howitzer projectile graphic, is
bigger than
larger
this,
than...
yes.
Yeah, it's bigger than the tunnel from which it's being fired. It's just a... That's not a tunnel, it's just a long barrel howitzer. That's spinally mounted into the fort itself. We
Ooh,
do
good delay
see
there.
that was a good... That's weird EMP. It managed to shut down the turbines without the energy... without shutting down the energy shield. Yeah, Team Skill Gap, I mean, they've had weapons advantage for some time, and they're wielding it. Armadillo Commander is going to help Team Monkey Air Force shrug the damage off without any substantial consequence, but as you can see on the right-hand side, Team Skill Gap is ramping up the damage, so Monkey Air Force can't just keep taking a beating like this. They will die, eventually. The first hit flies across. First shot flies across. Successfully impacts Cloud's base, but is stopped by a howitzer catcher. So it doesn't deal any substantial damage. Funny story, Helicopter has built a shotgun. In the bottom base here. I'm fairly certain... Yeah, I'm fairly certain this is because they expected a howitzer. And the reason they expected a howitzer is because Cloud very clearly went delayed weapons on Pinch Fist with extra economy. And Pinch Fist never does this unless they're going howitzer. Or you're just Cloud in this
And also, just a tiny detail is that he actually faked a tiny door setup right where the howitzer is supposed to be.
I don't think faked is the right word, but
I mean,
yes, that is a
later,
tiny
maybe.
door setup. Maybe. That or they just
Still,
wanted a
it's a
nice,
good bait.
stable tiny door.
It's a very good bait.
It is. It is. But, like, tiny door cannons are great, too. Unless you blow off your own doors.
Yes.
I mean, that's...
Also,
That's
I
a
just
thing.
noticed the tiniest of optimizations from Ethan. He has batteries on top of his mines.
This is one of the few maps where you can actually do that. You have any idea how many times I try in vain to fit batteries on top of mines in maps where it doesn't work, just because I want to believe it can be done. But yes, I love that little optimization. It makes me happy every time I see it. It's just a shout out to another little optimization. Eaton is probably the single most optimized player I've seen in Forts, period. And here's just another example, as we have batteries on top of the mines. Good fit a sniper up there too, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the damage difference for Team Skill Gap here. We just have massive arrays of cannons. Monkey Air Force is taking an absolute beating. Of course, they can sustain this kind of beating, owing to the Armadillo active. Armadillo Commander generally, but it is concerning to have to take this kind of beating, because there's always a risk, especially when your opponents are going lasers, because door snipes are a thing, and we have seen the devastating power of door snipes. And as you guys are well aware, there is a limited amount of cannons that a single player can take before they just collapse. And that Eaton's getting close to the edge there. Helicopter shotgun now being relegated for anti-machine gunner. You love to see it. Some cannon on howitzer violence. Skill gap defends against the multiple howitzers once again. Oh, door snipe! Oh, so close! Oh, that was so close. That was like a few degrees off.
On both sides as well.
Yes. Ah, God, the bottom basers are just fighting to get those door snipes, like tooth and nail. Eaton takes a splash hit onto the core.
This cannon shot was insane.
Yes. That's one of those angles where Eaton's not bothering to defend it because why?
There it is.
There you go, yeah.
And there's the door snipe. I am myself beats out helicopter in the door snipe battle. Knife fight in the closet is what you are. You're just sitting there staring at each other. I'd say knife fight in a closet was more like a chess match. You're trying to predict whose doors is open and where. Pre-aim and fire at the right timing.
I used to do that a lot against helicopter when we played together.
I just want to point out that sniper got the last hit on both of those howitzer shells.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
Amazing.
I am myself with a sniper anti-air. Like actually just defeating both howitzers with the sniper. And there's a door snipe. Helicopter getting vengeance. Skill gap loses and plasma beam. Oh boy.
Monkey Air Force has basically constant active.
Yeah, I mean this kind of damage output on both teams. For those who are unfamiliar, the commander active for the Armadillo commander reduces the cost of repairs and instantly starts repairing everything that is damaged. It also boosts the speed of repairs. So you press the button, your base gets fully repaired in rapid succession. This means that the Monkey Air Force players, blue team here on the left, are able to take hits, a lot of hits. A lot more hits than they would normally be able to take. That makes a huge difference. Clow with a disgusting howitzer placement, by the way. I just want to shout this out. I didn't expect this. I don't know if anyone's expecting that. I would think Monkey Air Force is expecting a howitzer at some point. But from that location is not where I would expect a howitzer. I love that location, by the way. I'm totally gonna steal that. Because that's beautiful. As Cloud just continues to get this ginormous base. Like, it is absolutely enormous over here. Just hanging off the top. Of course, bases of this size always have the threat of collapsing.
Oh.
Really? You see mass smoke screen. Howitzer shell successfully goes across, but doesn't break anything. As both Monkey Air Force and Skill Gap are recovering from the door snipe duel. That's like the only... Those cannons are specifically designed to shoot Eaton's base and can't really hit a helicopter's base. those two turbines are about the only thing that can be shot with the cannons. And they are being shot by the cannons. Howitzer ready to fire. Team Monkey Air
But the
Force
shotgun
has...
is here.
Yeah. I was
Yes.
gonna say they have some anti-air, but the shotgun is the only thing that's gonna stop the howitzer from getting across, and they are prepared for it.
Oh.
Wow, okay. Not even a door snipe, just clean punching through the doors.
Oh, they
Howitzer.
both landed.
Whoa, they both landed. One is caught. One's caught by the howitzer catcher. The second weakens the doors on the cannons, but does not break. Despite the laser follow-up, there's still enough defenses there to keep everything intact. But that is a wake-up call and a scary moment for Team Skill Gap, as their defenses have been proven to be insufficient against the ramping firepower for Team Monkey Air Force.
Yeah, Ethan is now building a third howitzer.
Third howitzer spells disaster for Team Skill Gap. Eventually, howitzers are their own anti-air. Slow fire drop shot doesn't pass the firing range. The shotgun blasted out of the air. I do wonder. So for skill gap, it looks like they want to focus the bottom player. But the cannons are unable to do so. The lasers, I think, are capable of hitting the top player. So I wonder if they should try to focus on Eaton instead.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I just did not see that coming.
That was a possible shot?
What?
That was amazing.
I didn't even think that shot was possible. That was...
That has to be pixel perfect.
I mean, yeah, yes. What?
Words.
What?
I don't... That's some Death Star level weakness there. So, for reference there, Eaton had a hole in his base. And the reason he had a hole in his base is because it is very difficult to defend that part of the base without causing massive structural instability. So rather than cause massive structural instability, they left a gap there, and then put an energy shield there, just to make sure that nothing gets through. Now,
Oh.
this is not uncommon or unusual. And typically you don't care about having a gap there because there's nothing to hit. Either the cannon shell goes clean through the fort, passes through doing no damage, or if it gets too close to the core, reflects off the energy shield and deals no damage. I was not aware of there being an angle where it could pass through the fort and hit the howitzer. I did not recognize that the howitzer was even vulnerable in that position. Apparently it was, which is a concern. This is another one of those instances of a 1 in a million shot that will never happen again and players can't actually purposefully aim for, therefore it's not worth trying to defend against it, kind of deal. But apparently that just... it happened. And Team Skill Gap eliminates Eaton, and with it, they now have an extreme advantage in this round.
Okay, side note, I like the door placement of Clow.
What do you mean by placement? It's just madness.
normal
Nothing here has
strategy.
been placed with purpose. It's just madness. This is... I've seen spider... This is less orderly than a spider web. Even spiders are less crazy than this.
Oh wow.
Oh no,
Whoa.
again!
This
Another
is so
critical
precise.
weakness. That, however, was purposefully aimed. You don't... Lasers don't work like cannons. That was purposefully aimed to hit that shot. Helicopter loses, what is that, 4 mines to a plasma?
Yes. Or upgraded mines.
That's game-endingly bad.
Oh.
And there go the turbines.
I
Yeah,
don't even have words for this.
That's debilitating. So helicopter no longer has an economy, like at all. They are all but entirely unable to repair or build things. So it's legitimately going to take them like 3 minutes just to get to a baseline economy. Yeah, that's not a great experience for helicopter right now, as Cloud's cannons are starting to rain down from above.
That shotgun is MVP at the moment.
Yeah,
For
perfect
It
timing.
really is. Look at that. Like, helicopter can't even properly door snipe or even fire back owing to a lack of energy production. Like, that's just... Oh no. So... This match, it happened. And I don't know how to I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to internalize this. This is crazy. A sniper shot from above removes the helicopter's fire beam, which is painful and unpleasant, but not really much they can do about it. Did this man try to wait for both howitzers to fire so they could try to snipe up or defend both howitzers with a single shotgun round? Is that what's happened here?
Might as well.
Yeah. Commander active ability for helicopter again, that's going to enable them to do at least some repairs. But I think realistically they don't want to repair their base. They need to get their economy back online before attempting to repair. I gotta fire the fire beam again, but I think the answer is sell the fire. Nope. It's gonna get sniped. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna say I think the answer is sell the fire beam to bootstrap your eco a little bit more. So otherwise you're gonna fall apart here.
Nice try, but
Folk-
there was a shield anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautifully aimed shot straight to Cloud's core. It's not enough. That's so painful. Not having enough energy to put down a turbine or a sandbag or anything to defend the laser cannon. Is so painful. Well, good news is helicopter's up to 4 mines, which is
Still a quarter of what the other team has.
It's still a quarter of what the other team has, but at least it's enough to actually do things. It's not a debilitating amount of eco. It's just not enough eco to be competitive in this match, as helicopters ground to pieces. You do see here that they're doing the standard laser thing of trying to door snipe, and door snipes, as you guys have seen, against even Eaton in this match, are the most devastating thing that can happen to you. Like, game-losingly bad at times. Which is... Well, this is what happens when you build a drunken spiderweb of doors. You blow off your own doors. Let's see helicopter there,
Disabled
thinking.
shotgun. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is. Letting it happen. And with that, Team Skill Gap wins round 2 in this best of 5. Wow. It's
That was
ridiculous. I need to see that
satisfying.
replay. That
Oh,
replay
yes.
on Eaton's
Oh,
shot
yes.
because
Yes.
it's ridiculous. In fact, I'm gonna check this out here real quick. Just on my own local side because it's crazy. Alright. So What? What happened? I slow this down to 1/16th. Oh my god, yeah, there just literally was a direct shot onto the howitzer there. I don't... That is so pixel perfect levels of... What? I'm gonna be honest, if I was Eaton, I wouldn't have changed anything. Like, the chances that shot gets made again are never. It's just ridiculous.
Hopefully we can show that to the viewers. Yeah, here we go.
Yes, please. There we are.
Yes.
It hit the top of the howitzer, and that was it.
Cool. We're looking at it in super slow mo.
It even misses the foreground bracing.
Yeah, wow. It just found
that was
magical
covering the
path.
top of the howitzer. It's
Yeah.
just... It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I am terrified.
I don't know what... We will never see that again. That's just what's happening here. We will never see that again. Well, that's exciting. And with that, the scores are even. Team Skill Gap and Monkey Air Force are, they're even up in this best of 5. I did not expect. Okay. And we're off. We're getting this match set up once again for the next round. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh, I've pissed off chat. Oh, I did it.
How so?
I was doing a play-by-play of my own local, looking at the replay. And chat knows this because I was speaking about it, but they don't get to see it
Of course, yes.
because
It was
it's
shown
local.
on. It was
It
shown
was
on
shown
the
later,
stream.
so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yes, it was shown on stream, but there's a delay on stream.
Yes, yes, yes.
So chat is only just now getting to the point where I was looking at it personally, rather than them getting to see it in the replay. So they're a little bit going mad right now. Good.
Well, when Eaton exploded there, they went nuts as well, which was pretty cool because it was
Oh,
like
yes.
like the text version of a crowd going wow.
Yes. These are only in the Fords Pro League.
Yeah.
Good God. This is ridiculous. This is why we are here. I love it. We max out luck and dump everything else. Pretty much. Like that was Death Star levels of critical vulnerability. We will never see that again kind of deal. Like there's no other way to put that. As we get ready to go into the next round here. God, it's devastating. All right, and we're off to this. We're off to the races. Skill Gap versus Monkey Air Force. We have an Eagle Eye commander this time. You'll love to see it. Eagle Eye versus Warthog. Now, Eagle Eye and Warthog play fairly standard. By fairly standard, I mean a not so rushy kit and build order up to heavy weapons with some mild early game harassment until we get up to cannons or similar heavy weapons, and then they start blasting. These are two different flavors of upgraded heavy weapons. The Warthog for Monkey Air Force is about as standard as it gets. It's literally just bonus damage output. Whereas Skill Gap's Eagle Eye functions a little bit differently. Rather than bonus damage, it allows Skill Gap's weapons to pretty much instantly come off cooldown. They can bank up their shots, so each weapon of theirs can double shot. This allows their weapons to... a single weapon to penetrate twice as deep in any given firing time, which is a bit hard to take into account at times. We'll see this a lot, like especially useful with laser weaponry, which are notorious for penetrating deeply. So if you land that first shot, the second one goes into the same pixel that the first shot went to, and just removes any hope of you, defending that location, barring an energy shield. Unsurprisingly, we see straight teching to the heavy weapons facilities for every player involved. Looks like we do see the fairly common EMP coming out here. There is no sniper for Team Monkey Air Force, which is kind of a surprise. Both Eaton and Helicopter are known sniper gremlins. But the lack of a sniper means that EMP will be uncontested and able to fly across the map and shut down technology and core alike for their opponents. Fairly cheap. It even hits the mines, which isn't as debilitating as other things it could hit, but it's still messy.
That's like 120 metal per EMP shot.
Yeah. It adds up over time. It adds up pretty quickly. We do see sniper for Eaton in the bottom fort. That'll put what is effectively a timer on the lifespan of that EMP, but I strongly suspect Skill Gap's not going to be firing the EMP more than one time after this, as they're going to fire it and then sell off the EMP to afford a fire beam quicker. It's usually the life cycle of an EMP. But no, not selling it off. They're keeping it. At some point, the EMP becomes a liability, because once snipers come out for their opponents, snipers are like the natural predators of EMPs. So once the snipers come out, the EMPs do not live very long. And when an EMP explodes, it shocks and knocks out everything nearby it. So unless you want to get EMP'd yourself, you generally want to be selling off that EMP. There it is, being sold off right here. You generally want to sell it off before the snipers can find it. Otherwise, you deal as much damage to yourself as you did to your opponents. And as we see it here, the EMP has been sold off, so that's just free damage that Skill Gap has inflicted upon Monkey Air Force. So that's ridiculous.
Looks like chat is favoring Monkey Air Force in the poll.
Interesting.
Surprise.
Looks like the howitzers are about to be ready, and only Skill Gap has any anti-air.
Indeed. We have howitzers. The build orders for the players have been extremely similar.
Ooh.
As Monkey Air Force, their howitzers are defended. It is now time for skill gap to fire. Well, probably not actually. Reason for that is, yeah, they want to bank up those shots. Exactly.
Or bank up, yeah, that's right.
With the Eagle Eye, they have to reload twice in order to fire twice. That's just a passive ability. It's not like an active ability which enables Eagle Eye to fire twice. It's just all those heavy weapons can do so. They just have to wait for the howitzer to reload a second time, which should be done by
Very
now.
soon, yes.
And with that, we're about to see double howitzer firing from Team 1, which is disgusting, as we have
I
seen.
didn't see if the plasma was also banked.
I believe so as well, because they only fired the fire beam. So we're
This
likely
would
to
be
see
devastating.
game-ending amounts of damage right here. And there's howitzer.
Oh.
Nope. Helicopter
Defended.
defends.
Oh.
This man preemptively door sniped. Ethan preemptively door sniped I am myself's plasma beam, which is a very Ethan thing to do, but also disgusting.
Oh, wow.
And a miss.
Skill gap really going for those tiny shots.
They really are. I mean, it fits the name. Skill gap, going for the tiniest gaps. Mind you, skill gap also has a tiny gap, but of course, there's nothing there to hit. If you make it through the tiniest of gaps, you get nothing. There's nothing back there to hit, which is the usual scenario.
Yeah, there is no surprise how it's hard to hit this time.
Yeah, not this time. God, that was ridiculous. Did that sniper just...
Yes, yes it did.
Okay, we're just gonna ignore that.
Oh.
Really cool.
Still
builds.
worth it.
Yeah. Cannon A.
Oh, Eaton blowing through I am myself's doors. Not enough to actually take out the plasma, but it was close. Warthog and powered beams, very powerful. Very, very powerful.
This is not a good place to have a blinking strut at cloudless bases.
It really isn't. Like, that is the worst case scenario, actually. Eaton doesn't. Eaton also did stability tech. I'm sorry, helicopter doesn't. As Monkey Air Force didn't have stability tech up there to prevent that kind of thing. Oh, there
Yep.
it is.
There it goes.
I am myself burns. Eaton wins the plasma door snipe chess match. And, well, Team Skill Gap loses a beam for it. He's gonna put Skill Gap at a little bit of a disadvantage here, but only on paper.
Oh.
As again. Oh,
Godly shots.
boy.
I think
The
Eaton,
double howitzer.
Eaton zapped him on his way down, too.
Yeah. Just,
Out of spite.
make sure he burns on
You
the way
have
down.
failed me, and thy punishment is death.
You have failed me for the last time. First you cost me my Death Star, now you failed to defeat your opponent. And now I have to clean up your mess. Eaton with a double fire beam plasma beam rapidly re-expands to his opponent's once base. It'll give him access to a majority of the economy. Although he still has to defend
Oh, that
that
was a good
position,
shot.
which is easier said than done, because this is Look at a little spindly there, isn't it? Just dangling in every direction. Nothing about this
I'm
is
pretty
stable,
sure
but
a
it
buzz
is
saw
intact.
that would have caused throw failure.
Probably. For sure. So this is, what do you do as Eaton here? Because, like, you could continue... You can't even door snipe Clow. Like, what...
I mean, he is Eaton. He will figure something out.
Yeah, you enable the Eaton ability.
Yes. So Eaton here has to do Eaton things, and by that I mean has to re-expand up to his teammates' once base, defend it, and then build weapons there so that they can retaliate against team skill gap. Because otherwise, Eaton's current weapons are really kitted to only deal with the lower fort of skill gap, and then do some shave off the bottom style damage to the upper fort. Realistically, Eaton wasn't looking to be the anchor, the one that does all the kill shot stuff. That was gonna be Helicopter up top. Eaton was playing support. He's the one keeping their opponents in check and then being annoying to the remaining skill gap player, while Helicopter does the actual kill shotting. Oh, that's bad. That is so very bad. Losing the foundation.
How many times did that ricochet?
That almost hit the core too, which is just ridiculous. There's a chance that he can have that burn to the ground and chop that off entirely, but I think he's not going to take advantage. Nah, okay. Okay. Well, Eaton is pretty much forever locked out of that expansion, and now only has a modicum of defenses, the most thinnest of defenses, between his core and the incoming damage output. Some buzzsaw spam, almost enough to defeat Eaton on its own, as Eaton's trying to deal with those buzzsaws. Trying quite desperately. But it's, he's certainly spiting in their direction, quite fiercely. But here come the howitzers with howitzers' massive damage. That's the kind of damage you can't sustain. It looks like they're trying to aim for Eaton's mines. Understandable. Eaton's selling off his only technology in an effort to fund reconnection to his economy. Which he will be able to do, but the consequence of this is never building weapons ever again for the rest of the match, which is, to be fair, likely to not last very long at this point. As team skill gap looks like they want to aim for Eaton's
Last weapons.
Yeah. Looks like they're just going for the kill shot here.
Yeah, I'd say so.
There it is.
Yep.
Kaboom. Eaton out of money, unable to defend themselves, and they fall.
That was a little bit of an upset.
A little bit, as Team Skill Gap goes up into the lead, scoring 2-1 over their opponent's Monkey Air Force. This is wild.
Yep.
I did not expect this match to be as good as it is, and I'm so extremely happy about this. You have no idea. Huh. Well then, Team Skill Gap putting themselves in the lead as we go on to round 4. The question is, will Skill Gap come out on top? Will they win this and move on to the finals? Or will Team Monkey Air Force even the odds and bring this game to the tiebreaker? This is so much more exciting than I expected. I'm telling you, Eagle Eye is good. There's a reason why Eagle Eye has been picked so often. It's just very powerful. And it's powerful in a fun way, too.
It is.
It's not just damage multiplier. It is fun.
It did seem like an even commander matchup, but you know, because of the trade-offs between the two. But yeah, there's something about having that double shot.
It's the burst damage potential. Look, let's see Eaton crunch here as the base just crumbles.
Yeah.
The core getting torn apart by its own mass. God, that howitzer hits deal so much damage. The shot that ended the game.
Yeah. A little Eaton sizzle on the way down. Cracks me up. I don't know why.
Disgusting.
Weak.
Oh Lord, it's beautiful.
It's like,
It makes
you're
me very
not dead
happy again.
enough. Well, somebody's saying it's going to be a skill gap win. I don't know.
I mean, they've got a good chance at this point. I mean, they are literally
do.
winning.
Yep. They
Yes.
one more and they've got it, but
I will say, this is the moment when Eaton is at his most powerful.
yeah.
When he's about to lose. He likes to do the dramatic thing where he loses a bunch of time
Sure.
and then goes for the all kill. The full reverse
Yep.
sweep.
This is all going to his plan.
It is actually though, which is the scary part. So we'll see if Eaton actually, if Monkey Air Force generally actually clutches up here. So if you can, So I am curious to see how this is gonna go. It just means I'm even more excited for the coming match. What? All right. The match is made. The players are ready. We'll be starting here momentarily. As we'll be moving on to round 4 in this best of 5. Very, very excited. So far, Monkey Air Force still takes the top of the popularity vote.
By a thin margin, I imagine.
I suppose so. Skill gap coming in second place. It's 50% to 35. Now, this is a pick I am not surprised by whatsoever. Team Monkey Air Force picking the Spook Commander as they're playing against their opponents who've picked the Warthog Commander. The most surprising thing I've seen here is that Monkey Air Force isn't on Team 2. Eaton likes to pick Team 2. But yeah. So far we're going to see what I imagine to be a fairly standard match. Neither of these commanders inherently have anything which benefits them in the early game. So they tend to go for something resembling a standard build order, decent economy into weapons. There's middle of the road everything. We see, unsurprisingly, about a mirror of each other's builds. Eaton going heavy on the economy, as Monkey Air Force generally going heavy on the economy. Yeah, we're seeing super heavy economy out of Monkey Air Force. Not quite as heavy development into eco on the skill gap side of things, but close nonetheless. Similar builds nonetheless. One thing about Spook, Spook has the tendency to tech switch quite quickly. And the reason for that is you get hard confirmation of the opponent's activities as they're doing them on a mild delay. So you tend to be very confident in what is and is not a good plan at any point in time. And so tech switching to counter your opponents is much more common when you're playing the Spook Commander. It is worth noting that the extra information is not super important. Forts, for as much as it does not give away it does not give away for free everything that your opponents are doing. Scouting is particularly easy. So that extra information at this skill level is something that these players tend to already have. They don't particularly need to go scouting for it or do something special with their commander ability in order to get that information. So generally speaking, the Spook Commander is less for the information warfare than it is for the rat level of thievery that it does. Every time Monkey Air Force activates their commander ability, it steals metal and energy from their opponents. So that will be relevant and something that Monkey Air Force will do every time they have an opportunity to do so. It's basically like firing a free cannon shot every time they activate their commander ability, just by virtue of stealing money from them. So that's, good. Being able to see everything in the opponent's base just as if they have spectator mode is a side effect. It is worth noting that Eaton in the top base has elected to go eco first and is prioritizing their economic developments over their weapons production. Similarly, Helicopter is doing the same thing, so we're going to see a late game heavy economic play out of Team Monkey Air Force. Whereas Skill Gap, on the other hand, they're just building weapons. They're going to empower the weapons with extra damage, and they're going to shoot the opponents. And it's going to deal a lot of damage. And unfortunately for Team Monkey Air Force, they don't have Armadillo, so they don't have the defensive capabilities. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like we're going to see some shotguns coming out of Monkey Air Force. Yeah, this looks like the same kind of build order that you typically see out of an Armadillo team. Expecting howitzers and lasers. Whereas, they're just playing it as Spook. Interesting. Obviously this does mean that Monkey Air Force is going for later gameplay. Whereas Skill Gap is just building weapons and it's going to blow up their opponents. Skill Gap doesn't have any upgraded mines or any upgrade technology. Actually, Skill Gap just placed just now their upgrade center, so they can scale. More importantly, Skill Gap is double howitzer. And double howitzer empowered by Warthog is game-endingly terrifying. Yes, that is the word. I like that word. It is terrifying. It is game-endingly destructive. Especially because I am myself, with their slanted laser beams up top, has a beautiful angle onto Helicopter, who cannot take 2 howitzer shells plus fire beam plus plasma beam. It's not going to happen. You don't have the defenses for this. Your only saving your hope is that you have a shotgun.
Not many players could have the defense anyway.
Yeah. And they aim at the top base, which is a surprise to me. I think they were just testing the waters there. They weren't actually trying to deal damage with that. You're gonna wait for the second howitzer, fire both simultaneously, directly and straight into Helicopter's front of the base, followed up by fire beam, plasma beam, probably fire beam simultaneously to partially burn the anti-air, and then follow up with plasma is what I assume is going to be the strategy here. That is the top tier, the combo, and Skill Gap probably going to be doing exactly that. Full upgraded mines from Monkey Air Force, as Skill Gap's top base is just starting with upgraded mines. And second howitzer.
Wow.
Shotgun takes it out. Danger close. It literally detonated close enough to deal splash damage to his own base, but it's enough to hold the line.
Ooh, lost the fire beam.
Painful. Eaton's mad, using sniper, wiping
Yeah.
out fire
Yeah.
beams already.
Ethan has activated his power mode.
Eaton's activated his commander ability, infinite APM, sniper's active at all times. Oh lord.
Oh, that hit. That shotgun, I tell ya.
It's the only thing keeping Helicopter alive right now. And I think Helicopter knows that, which is a scary place to be. He didn't lose in the sniper duel. That's gotta sting. Oh!
Oh.
Well, that's how Monkey Air Force dies. Howitzers are off
popcorn.
cooldown. That was a beautiful shot, trying to door snipe that howitzer. That might delay the howitzer firing sequence.
This is now or never.
Yeah, Helicopter removing the doors on those machine gunners to make sure the howitzers can actually...
Preferably now.
It's enough. Oh,
Wow.
It is so close, but it is enough.
Oh,
Eaton with the perfectly aimed laser beams hits the tiny doors, but enough tiny doors are there to defend against the fire
Yep.
beam.
What is
That
this?
That is an ambitious howitzer is what that is. Helicopter placing a howitzer inside the defensive fortification of his own base. If that detonates, it takes the base with it is the thing. But, if it is allowed to stay, it can deal game-ending amounts of damage. Unlike Skill Gap, which only has 2 howitzers, Monkey Air Force could follow
What
it
do
up
you
with
mean only?
only 2 howitzers, okay? Only 2 howitzers. Which, unlike Skill Gap, which only has 2 howitzers and cannot guarantee damage.
oh, the fire beam.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Yeah.
The howitzer takes out the rest of the base. Helicopter falls. It's Eaton versus the
Maybe-
world.
Maybe it's not so much of a skill gap.
Maybe it isn't so much of a skill gap. And Monkey Air Force looks like they're gonna get knocked out. It's looking pretty rough. Of course, Eaton still has fire beam and plasma beam. Still doing door snipes. But those howitzers already have shots on target. Onto Eaton's base here. They don't even have to be adjusted. Eaton's about to get blasted. And it's gonna be painful. There is a world where Eaton lands the door snipe on what is probably the topmost of Skill Gap's howitzers, wiping out the entire expansion down there, and maybe causing a cascade collapse of Clou's base. But certainly removing all of Skill Gap's cannons.
That would be quite the miracle, but I think that's what he needs right now.
It is, and it is exactly what this plasma beam is good at doing. Especially given Spook Commander active ability, you can preemptively line yourself up and wait for the door to open. I think that's what he was trying to guess. I think there he was trying to say, hey, they're doing the fire beam, so they're obviously trying to defend the howitzers from my anti-air. They weren't, they were just firing the fire beam, but... that was a good guess. Out to see how it's firing again. Now is the time to open up the plasma and prepare to deal with the second howitzer. I believe Eaton agrees.
Oh.
I am surprised Skill Gap isn't firing that second howitzer. Like, there's no way... Okay, there it is.
Wow.
Alright, he gets the shot. Cloud's base
Yep.
does not collapse, but does lose every single cannon. And with it, the firepower is now even. Team Monkey Air Force, I think, actually has a firepower advantage over Skill Gap. Let's see. Yeah, it has a firepower advantage over Skill Gap right now. That's going to change in the next 30 seconds, but for the moment. It's a beautiful fire beamage.
Angry Eaton.
Very
close
angry.
plasma.
Yeah, this is almost takes out that plasma. If Eaton had gotten that plasma, this game would have looked a little bit different, I think. Mind you, Team Skill Gap has almost inevitability here, as they do just have more eco, like twice the eco as Monkey Air Force. So Eaton has to be twice as efficient in their economic expenditures, or else they're going to get outscaled. That is possible with toppest tier toppest tier play and door snipes. As we see, Cloud getting a little greedy, getting punished by those buzzsaws. Interesting that Eaton has decided to go with the howitzer tech, the howitzer option. And the reason I find that so interesting is that the howitzer is not capable of dealing consistent damage. It can be shot down, and while it does cost some substantial investment to do so, it is an investment that Team Skill Cap will have more than enough extra economy to afford. And for that, that means the howitzer is likely to get like one shot before doing nothing forever, which is honestly quite an expensive investment. But you know, I'm not Eaton. Eaton is way better than I am, so I'm not going to question too hard. As we see more weapons placed, Skill Gap has officially taken the lead for damage output. As Clow is struggling to oh no. Everything burns. Eaton taking some massive damage here. Using more fire beams. This man is literally just building exposed fire beams. That is brave. Especially in a world where your opponents are actively sniping and you don't have map control.
Oh, rare miss from Eaton.
Energy shield comes online. Almost gets a door snipe. It is worth noting that I am myself's weaponry up top. It's under construction, so when it takes damage it cannot be repaired. So another fire beam follow-up will be enough to eliminate that laser beam. Unfortunately for Monkey Air Force, unfortunately for Eaton, that is 1 out of 4 fire beams, 1 out of 4 plasma beams, which is a lot of plasma beams. And he gets door snipes, and with it loses its last plasma. That is the worst timing for it, because Eaton's howitzer just completed, and no longer has a follow-up shot. Howitzer flies, howitzer misses. You hate to see it. Had that hit...
falling off.
Yeah. And had that hit the lower position, or just the energy shield position, this game would suddenly have been probably Monkey Air Force favorite again. So very close. I don't see a whole lot of anti-air being developed for Skill Gap here. I don't think they respect the howitzer enough, which to be fair. I don't particularly need
Oh.
to. As the laser point
Anti-air.
defense, takes it out. That's devastatingly effective. I mean, it's hit scan, you can't miss. And triple fire beam, not necessary. Double fire beam's enough to take it out. Looks like Skill Gap has developed a lot of anti-air now. They don't want to get hit by that howitzer again. That's going to be enough to prompt Eaton to do a bit more sniping. But yeah, there it is. Eaton loses the top element of his weapons platform.
Oh.
That was
Almost lost
almost
every single mine.
every single mine. Loses tech turbines. Not the heftiest repair bill. But
it's all for the
unfortunately,
win.
yeah. I'm gonna say unfortunately for Eaton, not gonna be able to get their defenses online before the next volley comes through, and that means those mines are vulnerable.
Oh. There they go.
And they're gone. Now Eaton has no economy. Down to 2 mines, which is not nearly enough to sustain anything other than laser fire. It's looking a little grim here for Monkey Air Forces. They are look, they're gonna get knocked out of the semifinals.
Impressive.
Very impressive. Team Skill Gap proving that they have what it takes to wipe out the long-time champions.
They've got the skills.
They do. It is indeed everyone else who has to experience the skill gap.
This is not something I would have expected to see in my lifetime.
It is certainly something I did not expect to see, but oh boy, do I welcome it. Eaton no longer possessing the economy to repair.
Wow, there it is.
The laser beams punch through and kill confirmed. Skill Gap wins. And they defeat their opponents. And they move on to the finals. You're in this best of 5, winning 3-1. That's impressive. And that's a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to all of our teams. Shout out to Team Fortified. Shout out to Team Skill Gap. Shout out to Team Monkey Air Force. It has been a great set of matches. I want to see those replays.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Show me those replays, especially the madness that was bottom fort. Oh, chunky damage. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Second howitzer.
the second howitzer
that'll do it.
hitting. Mm-hmm. It hit. It did a lot of damage, and it just vaporized. Just outright vaporized the fort. The secondary explosion is dealing catastrophic work here.
Oh,
The
this is
secondary
very
explosions
cool
again.
shot.
It is. A clean shot. That's what
Wow.
lasers do best. That is absolutely what lasers do best. They just penetrate deep. They deal so very much damage. Alright then. So there you have it. Team Skill Gap and Westwind will be moving on to the finals. Monkey Air Force and Fortified dropping down to the 3rd place decider.
Bronze match.
The bronze match.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And we get to look forward to that next weekend.
We do. Same time, same place. We'll be doing the final and the bronze match next week. Best of 5s all around. Shout out to Skill Gap, Westwind, Monkey Air Force, and Fortified, as they are once again going to be giving us good games with fans.
That was awesome.
That
I
was
just
very awesome.
really enjoyed all of those games. The skill, all of it was very exciting. Great, strategy, use of the commanders, and teamwork. Great teamwork between everybody.
Yes.
So good.
Great sync.
Oh my god. And the Death Star experience. Proton torpedo down the exhaust port.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
I am going to check the hitboxes on that.
Yes.
Right now.
That was disgusting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you all for coming and joining us. And I want to say shout out to Nose, shout out to 42, and shout out to Anadi for putting all of this together. And once again, a shout out to Salts and our other French streamers whose name I still cannot pronounce. 42, please.
Hilrouillé.
Yes, that.
Easy. What he said.
Go check them out, show it some love, and thank you for broadcasting these matches across the world, as we'll be winding it down here. So make sure to check out next week, same place, same time, and I'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.